What is wrong with synthetic fertilizers today, and why should you consider an alternative fertilizer? So there is a couple of reasons why you should consider an alternative fertilizer. You can use it with a synthetic fertilizer or on its own, but there are health risks associated with synthetic chemicals, especially in farming communities, and then there's the environmental risks with using fertilizer. So to start off with the health risks, so everybody's heard about the Roundup being linked to cancer. In farming communities, especially, weed killers, pesticides, fertilizers have all been linked to cancer, as well as things like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and all sorts of other health-related issues. And so we want to at least reduce our dependence on these synthetic chemicals and move away from things that cause those issues. On the environmental side, we're all trying to do our part to reduce the emissions we're putting into the air, to affect climate change. Farming and home gardeners and fertilizer in general has another added issue beyond our environment in the air, but our water. So about 50% of fertilizer that's applied today runs off into our water systems. So that's our lakes, that's our rivers, that's our oceans, and it's causing algae blooms. If you've lived close enough to water, which I'm in Kansas City, in the Kansas-Missouri area, and we have a lot of lakes and rivers. We see algae blooms every year that shut down lakes and cause issues in our pets, especially. They're told not to swim in them. If your pet gets into them, they might get sick and die. We have those issues every year. And I'll have family down in Florida. Of course, red tide is very much in the forefront of their minds. And so that a lot of that is caused by fertilizer running off into our water systems. And to cap it all off, the synthetic fertilizer is more like life support for your plants. So what it's doing is it's promoting growth and making it look really good, but underneath it's actually not as healthy as it can be. And so the pests are preferentially choosing those plants to attack. It's making it harder for you to grow them. Long term, they may look great in the short term, but long term, you'll have to apply pesticides and weed killers to help keep those other pressures down. Not only that, is the synthetic fertilizers are mostly salt-based and they build up salt over time. And in order to keep growing there, you're either going to have to add more in the future, flush the soil, replace the soil, which isn't always practical, right? I have my own backyard here. I am not going to be replacing all the soil in my flower beds, so I would be reliant on flushing them in order to grow, or using more and more fertilizer in the future to keep growing. So that's where our microbe-based fertilizers step in. Not only will they help take care of those salt issues with the functionality of some of our microbes, but they'll also help bind the synthetic fertilizer and keep it where it needs to be. If you choose to go all synthetic fertilizer free, our products also step in and perform all the functions there. So we have nitrogen fixing bacteria, we have phosphorus solubilizing, potassium solubilizing. We also have added in macronutrients and micronutrients. And all of those things are just necessary for your plants to survive. What's different is the functionality though. Our microbes are what's supplying it to your plant roots. They live in the plant roots. They're going to stay there, and they want to stay there, and they only give the plants what they need when they need it. So you're not oversupplying anything, and there's nothing to run off into the environment, and your plants will still look great.